Hello, this is another vlog about my eczema journey. I don't know if I'll keep calling it fight against eczema because I feel like that's a little bit aggro. I did feel that way in the beginning, but I think like I'm mellowing out. Like this is just a part of my journey, right, or my life. So I am just going with that and easing up on the like the aggro vibes. But an update is something interesting happened yesterday. I didn't feel dry at all yesterday, and that was interesting. Itchy, yes, but for the most part dry, no. It was okay. It was cool. A few days ago my friend gave me something, shea butter oil. Like it's Palmer's shea butter oil. I'm going to do another video where I post things I use that are working for me at this time. But really, that helps. I have this whole routine now that I think is helping. So I'm thankful for that. And another thing is that I've been doing walks in the morning and in the evening, like during these golden hours. Like I'm in it right now. I'm sunning as usual to help me with my skin. I believe that helps me. I know from experience because when I used to live outside, it did help a lot. The sun, I was in the sun a lot. So much that my black hair turned blonde at the tips. It's real. The sun helps me. I'm sure that's not for everyone, but for me, yes. Well, in this video, I wanted to talk specifically about some questions I could answer. And this is one of the questions. What remedies have I tried? I've tried a lot since I've been a child with this issue. When I was a child now, growing up in the 90s, because I was born in 84. So growing up in the 90s, I didn't have much other people who had what I had. And like I said in my last video, it was such a rare condition that my teachers, they wouldn't know how to spell it, so I would teach them how to spell it as a child. That's one of my earliest eczema memories. But what remedies have I tried? In the beginning, I remember there was this Filipino, I don't know what it is. I asked my mom about it from time to time. She said it was something that she got from Viluna, the hospital in the Philippines, where my family usually does their medical stuff. And it was like this, whenever I get itchy or have like weeping wounds, I would, mostly on my arms. So as a child, it was mostly on my arms, but yeah, now it's everywhere. But when I was a child, they had this stuff. It was like powder, purple powder. And my mom would mix it with water in a bowl. And then she would take a cotton ball and soak it in the solution and then put it on my skin, and it would help me to like not feel so itchy, or it would just help with what I was experiencing. I don't know what that was, but I loved it. And I loved also that it's purple. But I ask her sometimes about it, and she doesn't really know what it was. It was like something she got from there, and it was supposedly something to help soldiers with skin issues while they're out there in the field. I don't know. I'll fact check that. But that was one of my favorite remedies. One of my earlier eczema memories. Another thing is I've also used all the different kinds of steroids. I've used all the different kinds of hydrocortisones and levels of percentages of concentration of cortisones. I've taken steroid shots. So those three things are what you would usually get from the doctor if you have eczema and you go to the doctor. That's usually what they're going to give you, something like that: a steroid, a shot, a hydrocortisone cream. I just have experienced that when you use them, yeah, it clears you up, but it could come back with a vengeance. I know better as a person who believes in holistic health, and the fact that I lived outside and I didn't use anything, and I had super clear and healthy skin, the best I ever had. it just proves to me that there's another way. You don't really need those added chemicals in your system. I had roommates and they took me to a curandera and they prescribed me snake oil. I've even tried snake oil. I was like, what if it works? But of course it doesn't. Anyway, olive oil. I had a childhood friend's mom. She saw my skin and was just like, no, we got to try something out, do something. So she took some olive oil and she spread it all over my body, because it was all over my body. She spread it all over my eczema, everything. And then she had me sit there in the oil, and then I took a bath. It was so uncomfortable, but it was okay. I don't think it really helped that much. It just felt nice to try to get moisturized at that point. But it was weird. I think I've done research and it says olive oil you shouldn't put on your skin, actually. I've had another earlier memory of when I was a child, my family would go to Galveston a lot because I grew up in Houston. And I remember going to the beach, the salt water healing my skin. It would hurt in the beginning, sitting there with my cuts or whatever, but I don't know how somehow I toughed it out, or I don't know what happened, how I made that happen, because I just tried it recently and it was really hard to stay in that salt water. But I would sit in there and just pray and just like try to like really be one with this ocean energies, and I would come out with no eczema. My family would joke that I left the eczema in the water. But I've tried apricot scrubs, but those are really harsh because it's ground up apricot seeds, so that's really harsh on the skin. It could cause like micro cuts. I've tried Lush. I really like the Lush brand. L'Occitane, I've tried that one. It's okay. I've tried using water softener. I think it works. I think softening the water works, but also prayer when you don't have that capability. Another thing is slugging. I've tried that. That is when you have castor oil and you like spread it on yourself. Just really get it on all over you, and then you cover yourself up with that. And the idea is that it's like it acts as like it acts like a wrap that helps really protect your body and get it really moisturized and get all this the stuff absorbed into your skin. I mean, it helps and it does feel good, because I don't like putting stuff on and then putting it all over my sheets. That's really annoying. But I noticed that it's not a forever solution, because I still get dry a few hours later. So I don't know. And that's expensive, using all that product on you all the time. God. Vitamin E oil I've used. That's really healthy. Vitamin E cream. Coconut oil I've used. It's okay. It's not my fave, except for this one thing that I'll show you when I talk about products later. Shea butter I've used. I really like that. It is the actual butter form in its other forms. Cocoa butter I've tried. I only like it in one certain form, which I'll show you again later in another product video. And castor oil I really like. It helps my skin. Another interesting revelation recently is that chlorine helps, oddly enough. So like I'm gonna try to expose my skin to chlorine again soon. And also I've even tried calamine lotion, because I was trying to see if that would help with the itchy feelings, but it doesn't. I mean, that's only for like things like bug bites or poison ivy or something. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I've tried like anti-itch spray, things that you spray on when you're itchy. It doesn't help. Again, I think that's for like when you have mosquito bites or something. Okay. Oh, and another thing is with eczema, you get cuts all over your body. So I thought, oh, let me just heal the cuts, because it's uncomfortable to have cuts, right, all over. So I say, oh, I'll just use like, what do you call it, like Neosporin to heal all the cuts all over my body. That's cool. It does work, but it's pretty expensive. And then I can't help but feel like sometimes the skin gets like immune to that. So then it kind of stops being as effective. So yeah. That was a pretty long video, but it was a summation of all the different remedies I've tried to answer the question, what remedies have I tried to deal with eczema? Okay, so till next time.